Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA Biology Paper 1 Higher Tier from 2019. Question number 4 is on the topic of bioenergetics. Water moves from a plant to the atmosphere through the leaves. How is the volume of water lost from the leaves controlled? Well, water is actually lost from the leaves through the stomata. Now, the stomata is basically the tiny holes that you find in the lower epidermis of the leaf. So, what controls the stomata? That's basically the guard cells. So it's controlled by the guard cells opening and closing the stomata. Describe the transport of water through a plant from the roots to the atmosphere. So, from the roots to the atmosphere. Well, water is absorbed in the roots through the root hair cells by osmosis. Once it enters the root hair cells, it moves in to the xylem vessels. And from the xylem vessels, it moves up through the plant and passes out of the stomata, and it actually evaporates from the leaf, or you could say it is done by diffusion, simple diffusion. It diffuses from the leaves to the outside air. So, but the marking scheme is not actually focusing on the root hair cells, so we can start off by saying water is transported in the xylem vessels. The water evaporates from the leaves through the stomata. Now each of these points carries a mark each. A student investigated the volume of water lost from two plants of different species. Both plants were kept together, so it will be the same temperature and light and conditions and wind. So volume of water lost in centimeter cube, they both increase to about 2.5 hours steadily, and then there's a sharp increase in the last half an hour. The amount of water that is lost in plant A is much bigger than in plant B. Plant B is about 7.2, I think, 7.2 centimeter cube, whereas plant A is about 18 centimeter cube. Okay, so just one reason for the difference in the rate of water loss from the two plants in the first 2.5 hours. Now, in the first 2.5 hours, there's a steady increase in the amount of water that is lost. Plant A is actually losing more water. What the main reason is, if water is being lost from the stomata, that means plant A should have more stomata than plant B. Or it could be simple way of saying it is plant A has more leaves than plant B, right? Plant A has more leaves than B, or plant B. Both plants were moved to a different place at 2.5 hours or 2.5 hours. Calculate the rate of water loss per hour in plant B from 2.5 to 3 hours. Give your answer to two significant figures. So rate of water loss per hour. So for plant B, at 2.5 hours it's 2, and that would be 7. So it's actually going up to this part, so that's actually 7.2, right? 7. Yeah, 7.2, 7. If that is 7.2, yeah. So -7.2 2 is 5.2 divided by 0.5 because it's half an hour. So that should give me 10.4. 10.4. So just two reasons why the rate of water loss in both plants changed after 2.5 hours. Now, if you look at the graph, they both had a sharp increase, but they are very similar the way they actually increased. So maybe there was a steady wind that was flowing, right? Or it got warmer, right? So it was windier, right? Yes, that is a word, windier. That's a steady wind, right? It got warmer, right? Or you could say the light intensity increased, or you could say it got less humid. Humidity affects the amount of water that is actually lost from plants. In a high humid environment, meaning there's a lot of water vapor in the air, the water actually that is lost from the plant actually reduces by a lot. That brings us to the end of question number 4. I'll see you in question number 5.